Hey everyone, I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Like Her podcast. Please subscribe and tune in to all the interviews that previously we had, and especially this interview with Rosie Thomas. She is a tax expert. She's going to get down to business and let y'all know what's going on within your business and help you leverage it and build wealth. Hey Rosie, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I am good. I am really good. So we were going to start with who is Rosie, the younger version of yourself?
Oh, okay. So I am Dr. ShaTonya. Most people call me Rosie. I'm 41 years old. I am married with 3 kids. I have a 22-year-old girl, a 14-year-old boy, and a 5-year-old boy. So I kind of started over. So you asking a younger version of me, pretty much where I started and how I got to the point that I am now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I started my journey as a tax professional when I was 19 years old. I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. I was in school and I went to work for Jackson Hewitt just to make some money on the side. From there, I started liking doing taxes. I enjoyed it and I was great at it. So I changed my major. I wanted to then become an accountant. So I worked for Jackson Hewitt for a while, left there, went to H&R Block. And then from there, I went to a Black-owned company, a franchise, and I worked there for a little bit, and I was running my own tax office. Um, I come from nothing. Like I didn't have anything. I didn't have a role model. My parents didn't have a lot of money. So, but I knew that I wanted to be better than my situation at the time. So I started my own business. That Thomas Financial was established in 2008. And from there, we built a powerhouse. As of today, my business is for 7 figures.
Okay.
I do have a tax academy. I help business owners pretty much grow. And I have one of the top selling tax planner, but I started from nothing. And here I am today.
Wow. So from you, before you actually got into owning your own business, as far as with taxes, what are some of the mistakes you saw within the Black community when it comes to taxes, and you found it for you to be motivating to be able to help them even more?
One thing I noticed, like in our community, a lot of people, when you're working a 9 to 5, you're not taking out enough taxes. So for the low income families, when they're not taking out a lot of taxes, yes, they mostly, they get most of their refund from kids, but they're having to pull some of the refund they could have had to pay back some of the taxes they should have paid. So a lot of people are taught, to go exempt, don't pay taxes. But in actuality, if you don't pay taxes, then you could possibly owe the IRS or get a lower refund. For self-employed small business owners, one thing they do not do properly is bookkeeping. They don't keep up with what's coming in and what's going out. So when it's time to file their taxes, they don't know what to file. So that's the two things I see in our community that a lot of people are missing. And especially for my small business owners, you're making the money. You need to at least invest in a bookkeeper, or do your own bookkeeping, because you're leaving money and deductions on the table.
That is true. What strategies do you use to help businesses minimize their tax liability and legal while ensuring the compliance of tax laws?
For small businesses,
Yes.
okay, so one of the things that I do have a tax planner, and I do offer all of my clients my tax planner, where it has a list of deductions that they could take, a mileage tracker, and different things that they can use to write off within their business that a lot of people don't know of. And then also, I try to help a lot of my small businesses obtain business funding. or get them prepared to obtain business funding. And one of the things that I know a lot of people miss is your business has to be structured properly. So
Yeah.
I go through and I educate them. If you're LLC, let's make sure you're a LLC. If you're supposed to be an S corp, let's make sure you're S corp. And a lot of times, some of my clients, if you're netting over 50,000, let's go ahead and convert you over to an S corporation, because that's going to save you a lot in the SC taxes, and you can possibly get a refund on the personal side. So that is some of the things that I try to do to make sure that the businesses are aligned with, going scaling instead of struggling.
Yeah, that's true. Because, a lot of people, they go into business and they be excited, of course, that they have their LLC or S Corp and get their EIN number. But a lot of people aren't aware of the seriousness that you have behind that as far as when it comes to taxes. Because some of them will just go through a whole year. They may not have made money, but you still have to file. Can you explain to people, if even if you don't make a lot, you still have to file your taxes every year?
You still have to file your taxes. And one other thing that people don't do is file your franchise tax.
Wow.
Anytime you're LLC, you have a franchise tax that you have to file. You may not have to pay. If you're not making any money, you don't have to pay anything on it, but you at least have to file. If not, you will receive penalties, and after so long, your LLC will be shut down. But you still have to file if you have an LLC, and you just report that you didn't make anything.
Wow. So, can you explain to individuals who have a nonprofit organization and let them know they still have to file, and also let them know about their 501(c)(3) as well?
Yes, so you still have to file. And one of the things I noticed, that people with nonprofits don't know, you don't have to pay a tax preparer to file your nonprofit if you did not make anything. The IRS has something that is called a postcard. And if you don't know what it is, go to irs.gov. In the notes, you can type in postcard, put in your EIN and your information for your nonprofit, put that you didn't make anything, and it takes literally 2 minutes to file. So I get a lot of people that call me and they like, hey, I have a nonprofit, and you have to file that every year. You're required to file it. But if you didn't make anything, don't spend that money paying an accountant. Go ahead and go to irs.gov, file a postcard, take you literally 2 minutes, and it's filed for the year.
Wow. So with the new business owners, a lot of people have New Year resolution goals to start their own business. Can you explain how you approach tax planning for a new business startup and what considerations are crucial as far as like setting tax efficient and structure for their new venture?
Okay. So if you're starting it's the end of the year, you're looking to start a business. First, you need to put together a budget for your business. Find out what you want to do, write you out a business plan, see how much it's going to cost you, and then you need to set a budget. You need to set a budget. From there, you need to incorporate, and you need to make sure that you're going about it the right way. Whatever business that you're going into, be sure that you do your research. If you can afford it, get you a coach, because with a coach, their year 10 is your year 1. So
Hmm.
if you can afford to get a coach, get a coach. And you also want to make sure, look at the different laws and things for that business. See what's required. Some businesses honestly does not require you to start with an LLC.
Right.
You can start as a sole prop. So just look into it before you dish out money and spend money. You don't have to spend. And you can get your LLC yourself. It's only $300 with the state. And if you get stuck, you can call the state and they will help you through that application. It is an online process, SOS. You can go and create an SOS account, and it's very, very simple. Once you get your LLC, you can go onto irs.gov. Your EIN is free. You don't
Yeah.
have to pay a lot of money. I know there's different, and I'm not going to, throw names out there, but there's different sites that people go on and they get their LLC and they're being charged an annual fee. that they don't have to, they can avoid just by doing it themselves, and make sure you're filing the franchise taxes. And then going into it, just make sure you have a bookkeeping, something in place for bookkeeping, so you can keep up with what's going out and what's coming in.
Yes. And what are some bookkeeping softwares that anyone can use to basically keep track of their spending and what they should and shouldn't spend?
My go-to is QuickBooks. I
I
love
I, I love QuickBooks.
I love QuickBooks. And if you don't, you don't feel like doing it, I do offer bookkeeping, very good at it, but I love QuickBooks. And one thing I like about QuickBooks is it generates those different reports, like your profit and loss, your balance sheet. And those are good reports to look at, because you want to see what was coming in, what was coming out. And I know with me, I'll be like, sometimes like, oh no, I paid Facebook too much, or I spent too much in marketing, I need to cut back. So you get to see in real life what you're spending, and you have that chance to cut back.
Yeah, that is really true. You see a lot. How do you approach like businesses that are struggling and they don't have any financial structure or anything, and they just come into you and everything is just a mess?
So first, I look at their financials, of course, and I start giving them some type of tax strategies. And sometimes it has to get a little personal. If I'm
Yeah.
looking and seeing, because what I notice with a lot of business owners, they don't separate their money.
Yeah.
They don't separate their money. So they're getting their hair done out the business money. They're getting new shoes. Doing things that shouldn't be done. So what I like to tell my business owners first, let's separate this money so you can see what you're making. Pay yourself a reasonable salary. And that reasonable salary needs to be deposited in your personal account.
That's true.
And once that's gone, you broke. Don't look into that business money, spending that business money. That's that business money.
That is so true. But a lot of people, we just not aware of too much, just going through it. But as a business owner, as you said, we have to separate our personal from our business. Do you help individuals build wealth and be able to, you know, keep track of their money to a point they could have a retirement or a 401k or things of that nature?
Yes, I do. I do. That's what I do. I look at it because a lot of us, we work like, my expertise is accounting and taxes, but yours may be something else. And of course, you're not supposed to know how to do those things. So as a business owner, you are supposed to hire people within your business to do those things for you. So one thing I do, I let them know, and a lot of my clients are called like, hey, Rosie, I want to invest in this, or I want to buy an investment property. What you think? And I look at their financials and kind of predict what it's going to look like at the end of the year, and if it's going to help them, give them a huge tax break. And I let them know if it's a great decision or not. Or I have some people want to pull out their 401k, and they call and they ask me, hey, Rosie, what you think, how it's going to look? And I look at what I feel like they're going to look like for the next tax season, and I'll help them make that decision. So that's one of the things that I like doing too. Like a lot of people paying the IRS so much money and they don't have to. There's so many strategies,
Yeah.
so many things you can invest into, so many things that you can purchase that can help you. You can pay your kids. I know you hear it all the time, but you just don't know how to do it. So that's where I come in at.
Wow. So I also saw a service that you provide that most tax people don't, and that's life insurance.
Yes. Yes.
You are so rare for even offering that service. So how do you offer whole life insurance policies for your clients for them to build wealth as well?
Yes, I offer whole life. And the reason I got into it is because I have some IUL policies, and a lot of people are not aware of the IUL, but it's pretty much my retirement plans. It's your whole life policy with an added bonus.
Yeah.
So for me, I know how much I need to be at when I reach the retirement age. So I'm able to purchase that, pay for that every month, and I gain anywhere from 8 to 10% interest on the money that I put in, and I can borrow from it at any time.
Yes.
That's one of the things when I started getting into the IULs, I was like, let me get licensed and offer life insurance. And a lot of my clients need life insurance. Like I work with a lot of low income clients and I work with, multi-million-dollar clients. Everybody needs life insurance. Everyone needs some type of life insurance policy.
Yes, they do. Could you go more into depth on how much the whole life insurance policy will help different families and how they can build wealth and by time if they start now, say for instance, they 30 years old and about time they get 40, you never know. It depends on how much money they put in there. They could probably have a $500,000.
Mhm. And you can start early with your kids. Help
Yeah.
with college funds. Like it's so much that you can do with whole life policy. I'm not an expert in insurance, but I know enough to know that there's plenty of investments inside of insurance. Like I have maybe like 6 policies. And my kids have each a policy. If something happened to me, they will be okay.
That's
If,
good.
down the line something happened, I need to cash one in, I'm okay. I can cash one in to, get money back because I have 4 or 5 other policies there. So there's so much that you can use and you can get a lot of tax breaks too with those whole life policies. But yeah, definitely look into getting you some whole life policy. And like I said, the IULs if you're a business owner.
Yes. So, payroll. A lot of people, when you're a small business owner, you don't know when to actually start having payroll. So, how many staff do you feel as though when someone should actually start payroll and start the process of it, the bookkeeping and everything when it comes to it?
If you don't have any, you should, because you should be paying yourself.
Okay.
You should be paying yourself. And that's, what I was speaking earlier. And then each person that you hire, depending if they're a contractor, they're a 1099 employee. But if you bring them on as a W-2 employee, of course, it's going to cost a little bit more because you have all the different taxes that you have to pay, the payroll taxes. But start with yourself. Even if you don't have any employees, you should be paying yourself. You should, and you can look on Glassdoor and Google what is a reasonable compensation for yourself. So for instance, I know a lot of people struggle with their title. What all do you do in your business? For me, I wear a lot of hats. So I need to get paid
Yeah.
for all those positions.
I know that's right.
I need to get paid. So I'm Googling all the reasonable compensation for each one of those positions that I fill. And I get paid for each one of them. I combine that salary and that's my reasonable compensation. And I put myself on payroll and I am a W-2 employee. And you do the exact same thing in your business. You should separate the two.
Yes, you really should.
Mhm.
Could you explain on how important? Because I know in different businesses they have different areas of taxes you have to pay. Like example, I have a daycare center, so I pay um the job and family services of the daycare. I pay federal, state, city. It's a lot of taxes that come with it, but a lot of people aren't aware on different ways on how to pay their liability taxes because liability taxes is a lot when you pay it quarterly. Can you explain a little bit about it?
Well, that's honestly that actually don't tie into federal. It doesn't
Okay.
tie into federal. It's a different type of tax. When you file your taxes, you're just basically filing your federal or your state taxes. So if you have a business that's all European, the other ones will mostly be depending on your business. It's with that state or that county or that city. But as far as federal and state, that is what you file when you come to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you handle situations where there may be like conflict between a client's financial goals and their tax obligations? Can you provide an example of a situation where you had to navigate such a conflict?
Okay. Financial goals, and what was the other one?
You said the who?
You said financial goals, the question.
Oh, and as far as like their business itself having difficulties with managing it,
Um,
the tap for taxes.
so most of my clients, we meet once a month and we go over their financials. So that's why it's, very important to have bookkeeping. And so, and you should do it too. Even if you don't have an accountant, you should revisit your financials every month to see, of course, like I said, what you're paying and what's coming in. And before you make any decisions with your business, you should be able to look at your financials or go to your accountant to see if in fact you can afford to make whatever decision or purchase whatever it is that you're purchasing. Another thing, I know this is probably a little bit off the subject, but there is also so much funding out for business owners. And business, if you have business credit, I'm big on business credit and getting business funding for your business, because you may be wanting to add on or bring in new employees, which will make more money. So if your business is structured properly and you have cash flow, you can get loans for your business to bring in more revenue. And if, say, for instance, I could say, if you do taxes, you wanted to start a tax academy, but you don't have the funds, you can get a loan, of course, you use that money to invest in your academy. Your academy going to make the money to pay back the loan, and you're going to make more money. So it just depends if what your goal is. What are you trying to add on? What are you trying to do? And if it makes sense, you can get it out. You can pull it from your business account, or I can connect you with a bank to get funded.
Yes, that is amazing. But so speaking of academy, you have a tax academy where you help individuals as an individual, as a business owner, or just overall if you want to become a tax preparer. Can you talk about more about that those classes that you have?
Yeah, so that's my baby. I established my tax academy 5 years ago, and what I do is I help tax preparers who's wanting to start a career as a tax professional and start their own business. So I have a really nice program where I help them get their registration with the IRS, help them structure it properly, and teach them how to bring in clients and revenue. I do have a team of instructors, one of them being, an IRS veteran. I have a senior accountant. I have someone bookkeeping. Like, we teach everything that I provide, we teach it within our academy. So most of the people that we coach, they have 6 and 7 figure tax businesses. And I have software. So if you know anyone that's looking into getting into the tax industry, I'm very popular in that field. That's what I do. I do it in my sleep, but I like to help tax preparers come from working for someone and start their own successful tax business.
That is amazing. So what made you start your academy?
Because I was helping people for free.
Were you?
I was helping people for free for a while. And it got overwhelming. But you got to think about, when I started 20 years ago, when I started doing taxes was not popular. It wasn't many of us doing taxes.
That's true.
So I was actually one of the first people that start teaching people how to start their own tax business, because people did not know. But I was teaching them for free. So everyone kept calling me, and I was just like, look, let me put something together, because I'm going somewhere with this.
I don't blame you.
So I put the academy on. It's crazy. Like, as soon as I launched it, oh my God, I had about 40 people enrolled.
Wow, that is amazing.
And most of them are still with me today. I'm still their coach. I still help them out. And they started from nothing, and they share their story. Like, they're making over 6 figures. They have a full-fledged financial service, and they don't no longer work. So that's my goal. I just share my blueprint with others. And I get joy out of watching them, it's because I know it. I do it in my sleep. It's nothing to me. I've done it.
Girl, you over here answering these questions at ease.
And I ain't study. You didn't give me no questions to study. It's just what I do. I've been doing it 20 years.
I mean, just at ease. But what is one of the experiences you had, like when someone came in and their business was just shattered? Like they
That's my
found
everyday story.
you said what?
Everyday story.
Oh my,
Everybody. Like I get it every day almost.
really? I believe it though, because a lot of us, we have so many like dreams and ambitions to start a business, but we just want to do it just because the way it looked, the way it sound, and thinking we just gonna make money overnight. And it take years for
It's
that stuff to be
long.
accomplished.
It takes a lot, but what I want everyone to know on here, if they're listening and you're a business owner, don't try to do everything by yourself. Do not try to do everything by yourself. And I see a lot of business owners trying to save money when they're hurting themselves. Delegate, hire people. If you're not an expert, don't spend 3-4 months trying to figure it out when you can take that 3-4 months and put that time and that energy into your business. Just hire somebody to do it. Don't try to do your own taxes. Don't try to do your own accounting. If you don't know how to market, don't try to do that either.
Right. But a lot of people don't like to pay either.
But think about it. Think about this. The time you sitting there trying to create a flyer, figuring out what you gonna write on it, what hashtag to use, you could have been had serviced another client and made some money.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's my business didn't reach over 7 figures until I started delegating and hiring people.
That's how it be, because you need a team
Mm-hmm.
and people that are experts at doing that. You can't be an expert in everything. You can't do marketing, taxes,
I was trying to do
bookkeeping.
it all. And then to get off, hold on real quick on the Zoom, go cook, go see about this kid and my husband. Like I was trying to do everything. I was once there, didn't want to pay anybody, and when I did invest in me a good coach 10 years in. And it was like, how are you still living? Like, how are you still walking around here? All this you do. And I was like, I can't afford it. That was my whole thing, saying I can't afford it when I really could. I just need to cut back in areas. And
Yeah.
so, after a couple of months and everything, would flow, then I was bringing in way more money than I was dishing out.
I know you was looking like, I can't believe this.
I can't believe it. You see, I'm smiling now. You wouldn't even like, girl, how you be so happy? I delegate. I don't do too much. I do just what I'm supposed to do.
So, a lot of people always say when they hit that 10-year mark, they actually see everything, how, the accomplishments and how hard you work, and you start to see your money flow smoothly and everything. I be trying to tell people it don't take 1 to 2 years. So it take about 10, because you're going to still have mistakes throughout those years.
So many mistakes, and you have to learn from those mistakes. I can't sit here and say it was always peaches and creams. I've cried many nights.
Mm-hmm. I already know.
I hit rock bottom 3 times. It took me to hit rock bottom 3 times, because coming from nothing and making that type of money, I was just spending. I wasn't used to nothing. So I just went to,
Right.
I remember my first good year as tax industry, I went cashed out a Range Rover.
Girl, you wasn't playing.
I still laugh about it to this day. I was like, yeah, I cashed my Range Rover out. Credit is a 520. I didn't go pay to get my credit repaired or pay nobody back. I went cash out a Range Rover. 4 months later, I was broke.
Man, just looking good.
Yeah, I didn't know any better, but I learned from that mistake.
So from you learning from that mistake and cashing out, being balled out, what advice do you have for people? Because we have social media, and a lot of people be seeing girls with Birkin bags and Louis Vuitton and just splurging, jewelry and all. what advice do you have for people that find different ways to splurge, but not knowing sometimes people aren't really living that life either?
Mm-mm. I just say, sis, just be patient. Your time is coming. Take care of your business first. Make sure your credit is where it needs to be. Make sure you have money saved up. Make sure your business is flowing the way it should be flowing. Make sure everything is structured properly. And then you will get into the Birkin and the Bentleys and the things like that. That will come. You may have to start out in a Honda. You might have to start out carrying an Aldo bag. You have to start from somewhere. And when you get, you'll know when you're there. When you have you, I don't know what your lifestyle is, but when you know, have that money saved up and your business is flowing, money is coming in, your business is structured, you have a staff, then you can reach out. And at that time, I wouldn't say cash it out. Like, get you some 0% interest credit card. I ain't telling you to go in debt, but don't be spending all the money. It's ways around it, but just be real smart about it. Start from the bottom. Don't let social media, please don't let social media distract you, because it is a distraction.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a distraction, but don't try to with the next person, because a lot of people are borrowing. I see it all day long. They are borrowing people bags. They're leasing and renting cars. They making it look good on social media, and they don't have any of this stuff. So don't try to keep up with nobody else, and don't try to do what you see everybody else do. Just ride your own wave, go on your own, follow your own flow and do your own thing, and it'll come.
Yes,
It'll
it will.
come.
It'll definitely come. When you hit rock bottom, not one, not two, but three times. What was the feelings that you were having? Because I've hit rock bottom, I'll say about three times too myself.
Yeah. It was a disappointment in myself,
Yeah.
because I was trying to live a life that I didn't have. I couldn't afford. I was trying to do the things that I never had. I was trying to give my kids everything that I never had. And I thought that's something I was supposed to do, but it wasn't. I was supposed to do it when it's time. So it just taught me a lesson, like, Rosie, wait your time. It's coming. And so it took me, because when I hit rock bottom, I didn't have nobody. I had to figure it out myself. I had to go get a job, 2 jobs at one point, and I had to make it happen. But one thing about me, I don't like asking people for anything. Nobody would ever know
Me,
I hit rock bottom.
me
I'm just
too.
gonna pick myself up and I'm gonna keep going. And just make sure you're really budgeting. Make sure you're budgeting. You find that amount that's comfortable for you. I tell people, if it's 5,000, 2,000, 10,000, when you hit that amount, you're broke. You never want to go flat broke.
Hmm.
Whatever that is, I don't know what your lifestyle is, but when you hit that certain amount, I'm broke, and you don't spend anything else. Because if you were broke in real life, you can't spend it anyway.
That's true. So what was one of the lessons that you learned from that for you to get out of your brokenness and struggling?
I live like I'm broke, even when I have the money. I'm gonna pay my bills, do what. Of course, I'm gonna keep my hair done. If I have the money,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna overspend. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna do the things, live a normal life. But I live life like I'm broke. Like, I don't go and just heavy spend. I spend what's necessary, and
Yes.
I had to get that way. It took, like I said, it took me a while. I bumped my head a few times, but I did finally realize that, like, as of today, I'm not a heavy spender.
Yeah, that's how I am right now. I don't like spending. I
Mm-mm.
don't even want a mortgage. I
Mhm.
don't want no car note. I don't want none of that stuff at this
Mhm.
point, cuz it's like when you hit rock bottom and you at that point, I'm sitting here like, how am I about to pay my mortgage? How am I about to pay my car note and everything? But I got all these other bills stacked up.
Right.
And I didn't like the feeling of it. So I'm at a point now, I want to have everything paid for
Mhm.
and I won't have that to worry about, but just build a trust and just keep building the wealth from that. I learned it for even having a whole life insurance policy, when you can go back to that if you hit that rock bottom point too. So it's like I've learned a lot hitting that phase, and that phase is not pretty.
Go invest before you go spend. If
Yep.
you want to get a car, go buy a house. Just it's so many things that you can invest in. When you just want to spend some money, go invest, flip it, bring it back.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You definitely do. So, how can people get in touch with you and utilize your services?
I am Thomas Financial LLC on Instagram and on Facebook. My website is thomasfinancialllc.com. And if you're looking to start a career in the tax academy, my tax academy is thomastaxacademy.com. So it's Thomas Financial LLC on all platforms and website, and the academy is Thomas Tax Academy.
Amazing. So, tell me about the annual tax summit that you have coming up at the end of the year.
So every year I have a bomb annual tax summit, and that tax summit is most of my coaching students really blow it out, and then I also I do sell tickets to the public, and I bring in well, the reason for the tax summit is to get everyone geared up for the tax season, and I bring in influencers within the tax industry to come in, teach, get the tax updates, teach you how to market and all that. So this year, one of the biggest influences in the tax industry right now is Duke Love Taxes. Duke will be at my event speaking, giving those tax updates. If you're in the tax industry, or if you just need tax tips, Duke is a great person outside of me to follow. He have about 4 million followers, but he know his stuff. So he'll be there. I have a tax attorney that will be there. I have a marketing guru that'll be teaching AI, how to incorporate AI in your business and your marketing. I have so many people. I know I have a CPA in real estate. Right now, real estate is one of the biggest tax strategies. So we'll be teaching on that. And then, or if you're from Dallas, Little D from K104 will be our host. And it's going to be a really, really great event. So if you're in the tax industry, you want to be there.
Yes. Everybody gonna be building wealth up in there.
What?
Yes. What encouraged you to start that event?
So I used to have it at first, but it wasn't a summit. It was just some small and intimate for my coaching students. But as my program got large, we was pretty much packing out hotels. And so I just made it, and it's free for anyone in my academy. That's my treat to them. I pay for
Wow.
everything, feed them everything. They don't have to pay for anything. And so I decided everyone, was asking me, can we come? Can you open up to the public? So, because if you on my page, you see I'm big on videos, footage.
Yeah.
People see it, they like, I need to be there. So that's how I got started, and it's a great event.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm proud of
Mhm.
you. Because,
Thank you.
seriously, because, when a lot of people aren't educated in taxes, and to meet someone that's actually like give a lot of informative information to people for them not to even make a mistake, it takes a person with a beautiful heart to do that, because sometimes people just not letting you know nothing, and you letting people know every day.
Yeah, I drop a lot of gems. Like, I have a wealth talk, and that's another thing. So every other week, I do a wealth talk, and I bring people in to help people build wealth, and it's all free. And it's I just something I started, and I bring, and if you'll see it on my page, like every other week, I'm bringing people in, real estate, like different things to help people build wealth, and I enjoy it. I learn from it too. So. And it's free, no strings attached. We don't sell anything or try to will you in for nothing. It's just giving free information.
Yeah, and that's needed, because after you get that free information, people gonna see how genuine you are, and they just gonna be willing to, pay for your services, because they gonna know you got them.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. But I don't know. I have a big heart and I like helping people. And I mean, I'm blessed. I've been blessed and I just like to pay it forward.
Yes. So what encouraging words do you have for someone that's just trying to make it through as far as being a business owner and managing a business properly?
Do not give up. Do not give up. Do not give up. I told you I hit rock bottom so many times. And the only thing I did was keep moving, keep going. It's a lot of times I could have quit. Do not quit. Keep going. If you have a passion for something or a talent for something, just keep going. Keep going, studying your craft, educating yourself, and your time will come. Your time will definitely come. I started from nothing. I didn't have money to fund. You should see my first office. It was it was so small and toe up, but hey, that's where I started. And so my clients were scared, parking and coming in the beginning, but they know I knew my stuff. They couldn't go no anywhere. They couldn't go anywhere else. But as soon as I made enough money, to branch off, I elevated. I have a really nice office now, and I'm doing really good. But you always have to start somewhere. Don't try to go to a big office or a big place if you can't afford it. You just have to start somewhere.
You do. You do. Well, thank you so much, Rosie. I really appreciate you.
All right. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight with Life Hurt Podcast. Make sure you go and play back if you missed some of it and enjoy your night. Good night, y'all.
All right. Thank you. Y'all have a great